All right, welcome there, ICS2O folks. This short video is going to sort of explain your first Unit 2 assignment, and that's to come up with a computer analogy. Analogy means, a computer is like whatever. And I can't take credit for this one. This is an excellent one. This would be like a level 4++ version of the computer analogy assignment. But I'll go through it real quick and talk about this. I can't take credit for this. This is Mr. Baker's work, and she did an awesome job of it. She deserves a level 4++. I think my favorite computer analogy. I posted a picture on the website, and that's all I'm going to say about that. But your task is to come up with an analogy, whatever it happens to be. So it says, to explain the parts of a CPU, we'll compare it to a meat grinder. A meat grinder has three main components: a hopper to hold the meat, grinder that processes the meat, and a crank that turns the grinder. So here we go. In this analogy, we'll compare the parts of a CPU. The processor speed is like the crank. So the cache is like the hopper, and the CPU is like the grinder. So how? A better processor is like having a larger meat grinder. So a bigger meat grinder means more meat you can get through. Notice, by the way, input into the hopper processing is turning the crank and doing the processing, and then output is the ground meat. In general terms, having a better processor is like having a larger meat grinder. A faster clock speed, so a faster processor, would be like turning the crank faster, right? It says the frequency or clock speed of a CPU is how measure of how fast the data can be processed. And again, this sort of stuff you're going to come in contact with in a future assignment, so you don't have to worry too much about that. Like I said, this is a level 4++. Number of cores. Some CPUs feature dual or quad or 6 processors working together. That's like having 2 or 4 meat grinders all grinding at the same time. Dual core processors is like having 2 meat grinders. Having a larger cache is like having a larger hopper. So a bigger hopper allows you to process more at the same time. The CPU cache holds data while it is waiting to be processed. In that sense, it's like the hopper of the meat grinder. The larger the cache, the more data the CPU can handle. So the CPU is the grinder itself inside. And that's it as far as the analogy is concerned. Now let's see what kind of brilliant stuff you can come up with. As long as it talks about input, processing, and output, then your analogy will work. It doesn't have to be as detailed and awesome as Mr. Baker's meat grinder analogy. Go have fun.